Within the realm of Chinese cinema, Gao Yuanyuan stands out as a rare presence, radiating both refined grace and a calm, unshakable confidence. She entered the public eye seemingly overnight, appearing in a commercial that captured attention not just because she looked like a star, but because something in her stillness hinted at substance beneath the surface. Early roles in films such as Beijing Bicycle and Shanghai Dreams transformed her from ad beauty into serious actress, earning praise from directors for an emotional precision that made characters feel lived in. But with her rising prominence came an increasingly intrusive gaze, one that tried to confine her to mere beauty, often overlooking the richness and nuance she poured into her performances. Even the most sympathetic coverage seemed to circle back to her visage, timeless, graceful, iconic, words of admiration that subtly implied she was first and foremost a face. That pattern of praise was comforting, flattering even, until it bordered on confinement. The more Gao demonstrated her range, the more fans and critics alike seemed poised to redirect conversations back to her appearance. In Chinese fandom culture, increasingly mobilized through online forums and social media, that kind of commentary can escalate quickly from benign praise to harsh critique. Allegations of script stuffing, suggesting an actor appears in too many projects in too short a time, became bite lines in commentary threads. Suddenly, artistic choices were reframed as strategic missteps, and audiences sharpened their opinions into verdicts of overexposure. What began as admiration risked being weaponized, proving how adoration can be fickle in digital circuits where attention is both currency and threat. This environment intersected with a much broader disruption in 2018, when one of Chinese entertainment's most celebrated actresses was exposed in a high-profile tax evasion scandal. The repercussions rippled outward. Authorities handed down penalties and launched investigations, prompting brands to quickly cut ties, while the ever-fickle entertainment world, known for swiftly elevating and abandoning its stars, found itself facing an uncomfortably sharp spotlight. In the wake of that upheaval, stars untainted by scandal became exceptionally valuable. Gao's long-standing image of decorum and professionalism suddenly attracted renewed interest from luxury brands and carefully curated campaigns. But this shift posed its own moral ambivalence. Being chosen for cleanliness is a reward, but also a reminder that reputation, like beauty, can be a double-edged asset in a spectacle-hungry world. Even as those professional winds shifted, her personal life was never shielded from public interpretation. In 2014, she married actor Mark Chow, and what should have been a private welcome into a new chapter instead became fodder for online debate. Some fans disapproved, not of their union's authenticity, but of the idea that Mark might replace any imagined intimacy they felt entitled to. Small moments, wedding photos, private dates, transformed into quizzes about loyalty and narrative ownership. Then in 2019, when she gave birth to their daughter, the public realm invaded once more. Even the baby's name became a topic for speculation, proof positive that in this digital age, no detail of a celebrity's life remains beyond the reach of commentary. Gao navigated these intrusions not through spectacle, but by quietly choosing when to share and when to remain silent. Amid the mounting attention, she began to slow her pace. Projects became fewer, more spaced out, not a retreat from ambition, but a deliberate recalibration. In a culture that equates visibility with value, this was a bold alternative. Some observers labeled it a decline. But by stepping off the treadmill, Gao gave herself room to reflect, care for family, and define success on her own terms. Rather than feeding the machine of fame, she opted for momentum aligned with meaning. And in return, she sustained a presence that felt more authentic, more personal, and yes, more enduring. Yet even as she leaned into that gentler rhythm, she remained vulnerable to the harshness of online criticism. Unlike celebrities backed by powerful PR studios, Gao moved with a smaller team. When comments turned cruel or conspiratorial, they landed closer to her actual life. No buffers, no spin doctors to soften the blow. That closeness made each backlash feel raw, personal, and plausible, intensifying the emotional toll. To endure that kind of visibility with fewer shields takes resolve, and perhaps explains why she gravitated toward roles that defied surface-only interpretation. In Caught in the Web, for instance, she embodied a character under relentless public scrutiny, an eerie mirror to the very dynamics playing out offline. That film explored how easily a private moment can escalate into viral shame, how collective judgment can fracture an individual's world. Gao's performance there felt lived because the stakes were real. That artistic choice read as both empathy and testimony, a way to creatively grapple with the erasure of nuance in favor of sensational soundbites. Over time, a noticeable transformation unfolded in the way Gao chose to share herself with the public. Rather than crusade against aging or invent an animated persona, she began speaking openly about maturing and introversion, about finding relief in not always being expected to sparkle. Interviews revealed someone tired of having to perform. Silence was no longer empty. Aging, she said, is liberation from sameness, the freedom to favor substance over gloss. Her words resonated with many, fans who felt seen not because she embodied fantasy, but because she embodied honesty. Behind the scenes, her choices sent signals louder than any red carpet moment. By taking on fewer projects, keeping her personal milestones guarded, and carefully picking which brands to align with, she was quietly drawing lines in a world that feeds on relentless exposure and burnout. As she aged, her image didn't fade, it matured, acquiring a patina of trustworthiness and care. Brands align with her not just because she photographs beautifully, but because she embodies a life calibrated, not curated. Instead of meeting the world's demand for bold speeches and constant self-exposure, Gao Yuanyuan has chosen a gentler path, speaking through measured words and slipping away without fanfare. Her story is not about reinvention, but about being. She has shown that resilience isn't always loud, that boundaries can be ambitious, and that fame doesn't require surrendering peace. In choosing to age gracefully, retain privacy, and pursue art on her own terms, Gao reframed what it means to remain relevant, not by resisting change, but by modeling it. In the end, her journey offers a different blueprint for celebrity, a version where visibility coexists with dignity, where silence speaks louder than spotlight, and where the strongest performance may be the one she refuses to give. Her life in gentle defiance is a testament to the quiet courage required to remain yourself in a world always waiting to rewrite your story.